Due to the relaxing nature of this hypnosis program, do not drive, operate heavy machinery, or engage in any activity that requires conscious thinking while listening to it. Self-talk is the dialogue and conversation that is directed towards the self. It can occur either out loud or internally, and it manifests as self-statements or things that are said regarding the self. Research has shown that most of our self-talk is negative, and as a result of this, it is though our minds work against our greater good. Research has also indicated that negative self-talk can increase levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and it is linked to other mental health concerns such as depression and anxiety. Negative self-talk is any self-talk that puts you down, diminishes you, reduces your self-confidence or self-esteem, or prevents you from being your best self. Negative self-talk tells you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. The way that you speak to yourself influences behaviors, habits, beliefs, and attitudes. You may not always be aware of your inner dialogue, but you are most certainly engaging in self-talk most of the time. The way that you talk to yourself is important because it has a massive impact on many areas of your life. Most of our self-talk is like listening to a broken record that plays the same song over and over again. Many of these negative patterns of thinking are learned in childhood from parents, friends, or teachers. This is why it is so important to learn how to speak positively to other people, as everything that is said, positive or negative, creates waves and ripples in the lives of others. When we hear the same thing over and over again in the external world, eventually this can develop into messages in our internal world. There are hundreds of thousands of neural connections within the brain. Neural pathways are connections between the neurons in different regions of the brain. These are connected by and communicate with synapses. The more that neurons fire and communicate with one another, the stronger the neural pathway becomes. Negative thinking creates neural pathways within the brain. You might consider these neural pathways to be like bike trails in the forest. The more that we travel down a path, the more it is etched into the earth. If we go off the beaten path in the forest where there isn't a trail that's formed, usually we'd be met with sticks and branches and shrubs and growth that would make it very difficult to maneuver. But if you continued to take the same path every day, going over it again and again, then you would create a new path where there wasn't one before. Creating a new path in a forest is much like creating new positive self-talk. It may take a little bit of effort at first, but the more that you do it, the more you will create new neural connections and neural pathways within the brain. Every time that we think about something, we're either traveling down the path that we've traveled down many times before, and we know very well where that path leads, or we're beginning to venture forth into new territory that will take us to an entirely new destination. There's a popular story of the First Nations people. Some have attributed the story to the Cherokee, and it is known as the wolves within. The story says, a grandfather is teaching his grandson about life. "There's a fight going on inside of me," he said to the boy. "It's a terrible fight, and it's between two wolves. One is full of anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, false pride, superiority, and ego." He continued, "The other is good. It's full of joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a moment and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" His grandfather looked at him, smiled, and simply replied, "The one that you feed." We can make a choice as to which wolf we feed. We can feed the wolf that is negative or the wolf that is positive. We can work to cultivate more positive thinking in the same way that we would tend to a garden, by watering the flowers and pulling out the weeds. Every time that we entertain our negative thoughts, it's just like watering the weeds in the garden. And every time that we nurture ourselves with positive thoughts, it's like watering the flowers. It takes a little bit of effort to do this at first, but the results are worth it. Changing self-talk requires mindfulness, and it must be deliberate and intentional. Patterns of negative self-talk are often present for a long while, and as a result, they can take patience and time to change. One method to change these thoughts is to counteract them with positive truths regarding your life. Getting out a blank piece of paper and writing out every negative thought that you have, and then writing out a counteracting positive truth can help to override the negative thinking. There's always positive truth about your life and about yourself, even if it might take a while to see. It's always there at one level or another. Another method is to be mindful when negative self-talk is present and to correct it to positive self-talk. This creates new neural connections within the brain. You might replace "I just can't get what I'm trying to learn" to something like "I know that it takes time to learn. I'm going to choose to be gentle with myself. I'm going to do the best that I can in this moment." Oftentimes, we tell ourselves that we can't do something. What works better in these situations is to tell ourselves what we can do or what we choose to do. For example, you might choose to replace a thought like "I can't have a burger because I'm watching what I eat" to a more gentler, kinder thought. "I choose to have grilled vegetables and a salad because I'm on a path of health and well-being." Another example would be the thought, "I can't get up and speak in front of other people. I don't know what I would say." To, "I'm going to be gentle with myself. I am capable, and I can learn how to speak in front of other people and feel comfortable doing so." One of the most effective and important methods in developing new self-talk is to see yourself as a friend. To begin an inner dialogue with yourself in the same way that you would have a conversation with someone who is close and dear to you. We are often kind and supportive to our dearest and best friends, and it is simply learning how to direct this inwardly. Simply saying to yourself, "Relax, you have this. You're doing the best that you can in this moment," can have a very positive impact. In this exercise today, you will have the opportunity to develop new positive self-talk. So if you so choose and you'd like to participate in this hypnosis program, find a place where you can relax and let go for this next little while. Make sure that you're not listening to this program while you're driving, operating heavy machinery, or engaging in any activity that requires conscious thinking. Make sure that your body is in the most comfortable position for you. And whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just begin by focusing on your breathing. Feeling the coolness as you breathe in, and feeling the warmth as you breathe out. The coolness as you breathe in, and the warmth as you breathe out. Just allowing every breath that you take to move you further and deeper into relaxation. It's okay to let go now. It's okay to relax and to allow yourself to experience true comfort. Let go of everything that happened this week. And let go of everything that is going to happen later on today or tomorrow. And just allow yourself to be present in this moment. And in the presence of this moment, you can allow yourself to continue to let go. Letting go more and more. Relaxing the tension in the body. Relaxing away all of the strands of tension that have gathered in your body. Just breathing relaxation into your body. With every breath that you breathe, it's as though you're inhaling molecules of comfort and relaxation. And those molecules of comfort and relaxation flow through you, moving into every muscle, every fiber, every cell of your body. And every time that you exhale, it's as though you're exhaling any tension, any stress, any thoughts, concerns, or worries that aren't beneficial to you at this time. And you just keep breathing in this comfort and exhaling tension. Inhaling comfort, exhaling tension. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. With every descending number, allow yourself to move further and deeper into relaxation. The lower the number, the more deeply relaxed you will become. The more deeply relaxed, the lower the number. Starting now at 10. 9, relaxing more and more. 8. 7. 6. 5, letting go. 4. 3. 2. And 1, fully relaxed. Feeling safe. Feeling secure. And feeling very, very good now. In this relaxed and focused state of awareness, your mind is more open to positive suggestion, instruction, and the work that we are going to do here together today to assist you in developing more positive inner dialogue. In your mind's eye, imagine that in front of you is a chalkboard or one of those dry erase boards. There is a ledge with some pieces of chalk in your favorite color or a dry erase marker. Imagine that you could pick up the chalk or the dry erase marker with your writing hand. On the chalkboard or the dry erase board, imagine that you could begin to write out any negative thoughts that you think on a regular basis. Simply taking a moment to do this now. Simply writing out any negative thoughts that are present on a daily basis. And once you've completed this, just look at the chalkboard or dry erase board. Notice the feelings that come up as you observe those thoughts. Take a moment and notice how those thoughts cause you to feel. Oftentimes, these negative thoughts are related to stress or tension within the body, but simply notice what you notice. Now notice there's an eraser on the ledge of the board. Pick up the eraser with your other hand and imagine that you could erase all of these negative thoughts. Erasing all of these negative thoughts so that the board is clean and new. Now, with your writing hand, imagine yourself writing new, positive thoughts. New, positive self-talk. Maybe you write something like relax. You have this. You're doing the best that you can in this moment. Maybe you write, I choose to be gentle with myself. I am worthy. I am deserving. Or I am capable. Whatever you write, just ensure that it is positive. Take a moment and become aware of any positive truths regarding yourself and add those to the board. Simply adding those positive truths regarding you or your life on the board. Once you've completed this, observe the board and notice how these thoughts make you feel. How this self-talk makes you feel any different. Perhaps you notice that there's less tension in your body as you observe these thoughts. Or perhaps you just notice that it feels comfortable as you observe them. What we think changes the way that we feel. When you begin to recognize this, when you begin to observe your thoughts, and you notice the impact that those have on the feelings and emotions, you can make a choice. A choice within your own mind to begin connecting with these positive thoughts on a regular basis. From this moment forwards, I wonder if it would be possible for you, any time that you notice that a negative thought is present, to imagine that thought written on a blackboard or a dry erase board. And imagine taking an eraser and erasing those words or that thought. And then replacing it with a new positive thought that will help you to change your inner dialogue, that will assist you in cultivating new self-talk. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, allow this imagery to fade from your mind. And as it fades from your mind, allow yourself to become more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. And imagine yourself now setting out on a walk down a forest's path on a beautiful summer's day. And you can notice many things. You can notice the clean air, maybe the sound of birds or the sound of wind in the trees. Maybe it's just a peaceful silence. And as you look down and you notice the path, you can begin to contemplate how this path has been traveled down many times before. This path is etched into the earth firmly. You can notice that this path has been used over and over again. This has sustained its existence. This path always leads to the same place. There's a part of you that feels curious and somewhat adventurous. And you hear the sound of waves off in the distance. Having traveled down this path many times before, you know that this path has never led you to water. You begin to follow the sound of the waves as you venture off the path. And as you walk through the thick forest, you find yourself maneuvering around trees and leaves, finding another way, a different way, a different path. And you notice that the sound of waves grows louder. And even though it takes a bit of effort, there's a part of you that continues to push forwards. Finally, you find yourself making your way out of the forest onto the most beautiful beach that you can imagine. A beautiful beach with white, clean sand and crystal clear blue waters that reach out onto the horizon. It feels so expansive here as you look out and notice that place where the water meets the heavens. There's a part of you that is so grateful for stumbling across this beach, for you wouldn't have made your way here had you have stayed on the other path. You take in all of the beauty, enjoying it. When we change our direction, it takes us to new places, places that we weren't quite expecting. Wonderful new surprises. And you begin to turn around and move back through the forest along the same path that led you to the beach. This time it seems a little bit easier, just a little bit easier to traverse the forest now that you know the way. And if you can imagine for a moment taking this path to this beach every single day, what would begin to happen? That this new path would form within the forest. Until eventually a new path is created. A new path that leads you to this beautiful place. Remember that the thoughts that you think are much like this path. That the more that you think positive thoughts, the more that those thoughts will take you to wonderful places wonderful new experiences, wonderful new perspectives. And you journey back along the path that led you to this place, contemplating everything that you've learned here today. And as you travel along this path, I'm going to leave you with some suggestions. These suggestions will sink so deeply into your mind that they will make a lasting impression. I'm going to suggest that any time that you notice a negative thought within your mind, you remember the chalkboard. You can imagine the negative thought. You can imagine yourself erasing it. And you can imagine replacing it with a positive thought, new positive self-talk. I'm going to suggest that you begin talking to yourself as though you were speaking to a very good friend, changing the inner dialogue that you have with yourself, finding new ways of being kind and supportive towards yourself, changing the lens through which you see yourself, always finding positive truths regarding who you are, always seeing positive truths about your life, and using those positive truths to counteract and override any negative thinking. It's time to return to full waking consciousness. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. When I reach the count of 10, you'll open your eyes and you'll be back at full waking consciousness. Starting now at 1, 2, emerging from relaxation, 3, 4, coming up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Eyes wide open, back in the room, back in the here and the now, fully awake, fully refreshed in every way, and feeling better than you have in a long time. Welcome back. By counteracting negative self-talk with positive self-talk, you can begin the process of being more kind and gentle with yourself. From this new place of kindness and gentleness, you can begin to experience greater peace, joy, and happiness. Remember to always consider the two wolves that live within all of us. Which one will you feed?
I hope that you found this session informative as well as inspiring. If you would like more sessions just like this one, be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below and then ringing the little bell icon to make sure that we're connected and to make sure that you receive notifications of all upcoming episodes as soon as they're released.
Equine-assisted therapy is a therapeutic modality where a participant works with an equine partner and are guided by a psychotherapist or field facilitator. Through the process, clients explore aspects of life, self, and create change for the better. Horses have the natural ability to sense our internal landscapes, what we're feeling, thinking, and even what we're trying to hide from ourselves. They help to guide us to find understanding, to create compassion, and to find our most beneficial choices, all while being silently supportive in total acceptance of who we are and what we're going through. Join me on May 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the premiere of my equine therapy experience. I'll be interviewing Charlotte Brammer, a registered psychotherapist and hypnotherapist who will be sharing her knowledge of equine therapy and how it can help to make change. Then we'll journey out to Harmony with Horses, located at Dogwood Farms in Ontario, to meet with Trisha Rudy, a field practitioner. Charlotte and Tricia will guide me through the process of an equine therapy session. You'll have a front row seat to learn about this fascinating process of equine therapy up close. During the premiere, Charlotte and myself will be available through a live chat on YouTube to answer questions and to discuss the experience. I hope you can join us on May 2nd at 7 p.m. Learn hypnosis through the Mind Institute's Hypnosis Certification course. Discover the power and the promise of clinical hypnosis in this foundational course. You'll explore the power of the subconscious mind and understand how hypnosis works for change. You'll learn professional protocols and important ethical standards and boundaries. You'll learn how to tailor hypnosis inductions to clients' needs to help them let go of weight, stop smoking, manage stress and emotions, and make other desired life changes. This comprehensive online course will provide you with everything that is required to begin confidently practicing hypnosis upon graduation. Become a certified hypnotist or hypnotherapist by visiting www.mindinstitute.ca.